What if healing isn't about fixing what's broken, but about becoming whole? So many of us think that healing is a straight line, a finish line, or a quick cure. But healing is layered, alive, and anything but perfect. It's body, mind, heart, and spirit learning to move together. It's scars becoming wisdom, it's daily choices, quiet practices, and sometimes just staying present when everything in you wants to run. Today, we're going to talk about what healing really is and what it actually looks like. Welcome back to the Clean Life Cast, where healing becomes a movement. I'm Mason Anderson. I'm with my co-host, Daniel Tapusoa. Today, we're sitting down once again with our friend Cherice Gull. If you caught episode 7, you already know the heart and wisdom that she brings to the table. This time, we're going even deeper, exploring what healing really is and what it actually looks like. Because healing isn't a straight line or a finish line, it's layered. Body, mind, heart, and spirit. And it's alive in everyday choices that quietly transform our lives. So grateful to be here. We're in Cherice's office today.
Let's go.
Good thing we got the tear soaker already.
That was good, huh? That was
Oh,
good.
okay.
Yeah.
Super glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited we have a bigger space today.
Feeling all so much room for activity.
I know.
Yeah, that was good. And I like the healing topic. I can't wait to get into this. And episode 7, if you haven't watched that one, you can watch this one first, but you want a little bit insight on Cherice's story, go back and check it out. Then go back to 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 because they all tie in together and but all stick. Let's go. I can't wait.
I'm excited too. After last week, we talked about like service and the heart of service and everything that so I just want to ask you about your outreach. How did that go?
Oh, it was really, really good. This week, on Saturday, only 10 people had shown up. And I really liked it because it was more intimate, right? There were a lot deeper of conversations and there was more space for everybody to take their space, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was really great. There was a little amount of people, but when we went out there, there was one person that we had ran into that the majority of us had known, and it was very painful to see that person,
Like that.
it was I can only imagine like how they felt. And I'm just gonna be completely honest, just to protect that person. I'm just gonna say they them because like I don't
Yeah.
have any identifying anything for them. But they walked around and past my car and I saw them and I looked over and I was like, oh my gosh, that's and I walk over and I gave them the biggest hug, and I had never seen this person so skinny. I had never seen this person so broken and so frail and just, so
Which is crazy because he came in skinny. I mean, like when he got healthy, skinny.
Mhm,
It's crazy to see skinnier people get skinnier,
mhm,
but it happens. Yeah.
mhm,
It's really hard to like when you're down there and you see the people that you like know well or that you've
mhm.
actually ran with or people you care about and you realize that like how real it is down there.
Yeah.
It does take people's lives and takes people down a path that's just so sad. And then you see like that there is healing is possible, and then they just aren't in that place at that time. And you're just like, man, I wish so bad I could give you what I have.
Yeah.
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 When I was told about you guys running into this person, my heart broke because
Mhm.
I got really close to this person.
Yeah.
And then when when they came to Wasatch, when he saw me, introduced himself theirself to me and told me that we met at meetings before, and they would always go to these meetings, and I got super close with
Yeah.
them, and then to hear about where they're at now is so rough to hear, like.
But I think what was really cool was like, because we go out there with like love and compassion, right? Like if I have volunteers coming with me, I always tell them, you can take pictures of us taking, like making the food all day long and putting stuff together, but like you're not going to take pictures of the people out there, right?
No.
Because we're not going to dehumanize them.
Yeah.
So I think that like we always, especially Wayne and I, we always go out there with that love and that compassion. And we had Brandon, the celebrity manager here, who is Wayne's business partner and best friend. Wayne, Brandon also knew that person, and all of us just gave this person like the biggest hug. It was it was really powerful to see this person. And I even asked, I said, hey, do you want to ride to the BOA? And they looked me dead in my face and they just said, I'm just not ready.
Yeah.
I have to respect that. You know what?
Yeah.
Here, have a couple more lunches, have some more water, let me give you some clothes. My husband pulled out all the brand new Nike stuff, he's like, here you go. Have some new Nike stuff. But yeah, it was probably one of my most favorite outreaches because it was so small. We still did 150, but it was really good to just give all the love.
It was beautiful, and hopefully, like just seeing you guys and seeing planted a seed, and hopefully he'll come back around.
Mm.
That's good.
Yeah, he even said, I remember when I used to go and do this with you, and I was hoping that I would see you guys soon. I was like, well, here we are. Like how upset I was about it. Like I can only imagine how like shameful they felt, you know.
Yeah.
But we tried our hardest to make sure that they knew that they were loved, and when they're ready, people are here to help them, you know.
And I think that's
It's been so cool to watch this person come back to
Mm-hmm.
and push his journey because the person I knew him when they walked in and the person that was getting ready to come down here, such a powerhouse. Like I felt good whenever I heard him share at alumni or any meeting we took him to, and they had a lot of knowledge.
A lot of good stuff to say. Yeah.
Super powerful.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
So I think that that's awesome too with our topic, because if we talk about healing, and the healing is like it's not a straight line.
Right.
Like sometimes
Yeah.
you have setbacks, and you're gonna go through struggles, and it's gonna be hard. Sometimes like the path takes you back to that point so you can come back stronger. And like I know that like through all my relapses and through like the struggle that I've been through over and over again, each one of them was playing a bigger piece in the big picture. And, you know, if I didn't have all like the struggles through prison, all the treatment centers, all those things, when I came to Wasatch, I wouldn't have been so ready to change.
Right.
You know, and I think I wouldn't have known what it meant to heal yet.
Yeah.
I think that like all of it in a big scheme of things is all part of the plan, and hopefully he's learning what he needs to learn.
So I think so.
So if we're talking about healing and you think of the word healing, like, what does it really mean to you? Like what does healing mean to your in your life?
I don't know. Like you said, it's not linear. It's an everyday process. Every single day I'm healing from the pain that I caused myself, you know? So I think it's acknowledging all the stuff that you've done, being compassionate with yourself about all the things that you've done, and then forgiving yourself for all the things that you've done. You know, I think that that's where healing really starts, and where that's where it really begins, is to begin to forgive and move forward.
Forgiveness is a hard step. Forgiveness is a really hard step to take. The person that I had the hardest time forgiving was me. And I could forgive you know, like it was easy to forgive other people. But the thing that made me like learning all these new words when I came through my journey was the first word that made it easier was acceptance. Accepting that I have done things that I'm not proud of. And then when I said, okay, I did that, made me just saying the sentence, like if I stole your keys, and now I'm at a point of acceptance. Okay, I stole your keys. But by me saying I stole your keys was me also taking accountability. So the acceptance brought accountability as a side piece of it, you know, like it just came along with it. So by taking that much weight off of the forgiveness part, it wasn't easy, but it made it easier. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So it made forgiveness for me. And then by forgiving me, the healing came along with that.
Sure.
You know?
I think like the accountability piece is huge. When I told my story about Wasatch the other day, and then we had that little conversation and wrapped that up, like I really sat back and was like accountability was the biggest piece in all of it. Like I wouldn't have been able to rebuild any relationships. I wouldn't have been able to get through because after I made that mistake at Wasatch and the things happened, like I felt a lot of like real pain inside my soul that I hadn't felt since getting sober, you know?
Yeah.
Like, cause I fell out of alignment with my core values of who I was. And then I had to like really heal, but I didn't know how to heal in that moment because I was still in this denial or just like pushing it out the stage. And so like being able to accept it, like, okay, this is why it was wrong. This is what I did. All those things made it to where, okay, now I'm a place like this. It's a fresh wound, but it's actually like getting better instead of worse.
And the thing about you taking accountability is it does so much for you, but it also frees up other people. Like hearing you say, you didn't even have to say sorry, just say, okay, I messed up. And that was so freeing for me. Is like, okay, now we can start being friends again, and you can be on a better path. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
like I know accountability is for you to be able to forgive yourself or be freeing of certain things, but hearing you come in and take accountability definitely was like, all right, this still a homie, you know?
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I appreciate you so much for just by holding your things. And anyways,
I think the accountability piece for all of us, like no matter addict or not, just any time that you take accountability, that's like the start of the new bridge, right? The bridge that we break. I think that, like you said, like it's not just for a forgiveness for yourself, but it shows other people that, okay, I'm willing to admit my wrong. I'm willing to know that I messed up. I'm willing to move forward. Can you move forward with me?
yeah, I'm gonna start building the bridge on my side. If you accept my accountability, the bridge on your side.
Ooh,
Yeah, you said that. You just said it in different words.
That's real nice when you say it.
So how is healing different for you guys? How is healing different than like just fixing problems or getting over them?
Do you really get over something if you don't heal from it?
Yeah, I think we'll probably just push it down.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I just think that like the reason for that question is more like along the lines of like there was a lot of times that like I would think that I was doing work, like internal work or whatever, fixing issues or getting through like a relationship problems or whatever. But I wasn't actually like healing my soul or getting into a place of like a peace or joy or finding like a contentment within myself. It was more like I was just stuffing it down and getting over to the next problem, and it was just accumulating all these feelings inside of myself that were just built up.
The crazy thing about that question is I've never thought about, like, nobody asked me how I was doing with healing. Like this whole process, this whole run that I've been going through was like, take accountability, accept where you are, which is crazy because as you were reading the question, I realized I healed a lot. So yeah, just by putting in work and being all right with me. Oh, the last question. Sorry. That's a really good question because I don't necessarily think I was ever focused on healing. I was focused on being a better me for me, and everybody else gets a piece of that. But by just trusting the process, going back to the basics, trusting the process and working on me to be a better me, damn, I was able to heal a lot more than like just running it back while you're reading the question. I've healed through so much damage. I don't even know how to answer that question, but I know I healed a lot.
And there's like a obviously you killed a lot back because of the things you say, like I love myself, I love the people I'm around. Those are like obvious, like the aftermath of healing.
Yeah.
Because when we're broken and we're not healed, those things aren't there. We don't have strong connections with people. We don't know ourselves. We don't know like what it is that we're actually feeling inside of ourselves because it's just complete turmoil.
Yeah.
And I think that like I when I go to AA meetings, before I learned that like when you say like mine's based in an addict, you know,
Yeah.
like or an alcoholic or whatever, like I learned why they say that is to let it relate with the other people in the room so that everybody knows we're on the same level. But like before I knew that, I would always say like I'm Mason and I'm healing, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's really what my goal was, to heal mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally every single day. And it's been working for me, you know? Like I'm in such a better place than I've ever been in my life. And it came from like I think that part, like, I know that like physical was like the last on my list of things to start healing, and then once that came to like my mind that like that's so important, all of a sudden everything else was already clicking.
Yeah.
But I think that what does it look like for you when you talk about like spiritual healing, spiritually, like internal?
Mm. Ooh. I don't know. All this just leads me back to just like forgiveness. That's what all this, it's like my soul is saying forgiveness, 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 right? And like I will not sit here and tell you that like my spirituality is my God, because that's obviously not what it is. But I couldn't move forward in my life healing if I was unable to forgive myself. Also, if I was unable to forgive those who wronged me, right? Like, can I go into a little bit of story?
Please do.
Okay. So when I was incarcerated, I was in anger management. And during one of the things we had to do is we had to write like an apology letter, and then we had to write a forgiveness letter. And
What's the difference?
an apology letter and a forgiveness letter? Good question. I don't know, but I have two different people that I wrote these letters to. And so my forgiveness, well, I was apologizing, I'm sorry. And then I was giving somebody forgiveness, I guess was what the difference was. So the person that I chose to write my forgiveness letter to is actually my ex-husband. And I wrote this letter knowing that I would never give it to. And for me, that was healing, because like I didn't need to forgive him and his actions or the detriment of our marriage, or like I didn't have to let him know that I forgave him.
Right.
And I was okay that he didn't know that I forgave him. In fact, I wrote the letter and then I read it to all the ladies in anger management, and then I held on to that letter, and then when I got out, I actually burned it. Like, so I was able to get all the words out. I was able to just, okay, like I'm done. I'm not going to hold on to this, because all that's going to do is just hurt me in the end. It's just going to hold me down, and it's not going to let me progress where I need to progress in life. Right.
Well, because forgiving, like when that, like you said, you forgave him. It's not like if I forgive you or you, right? I forgive you, Cherice. It's not for you.
Right.
it's too, like what you said, it's freeing for you. It's like, okay, this is no longer a piece of me.
Mhm.
It doesn't,
It's gone.
yeah, there's nothing that it does for me. So I don't need it no more. I forgive you.
Mhm.
And now back to the bridge. I'm gonna start
Yep.
reconnecting, you know?
Yep, I was able to heal that part of me
Yep.
that was so broken and so damaged and so like a part of me that I honestly never thought that I would come back from.
Yeah.
And being able to write that and like, and it was great. Like it was the chaplain who had told me like, you know, you don't have to tell them this. Like you will never have to send this to you, right? And like I'm gonna be real. Like I am not a person who's afraid of people by any means. But I was
not.
nope.
We're not.
But this individual, I was afraid of, you know, and so and that was again all the broken pieces. Right now, I'm not gonna sit here and place blame,
Yeah.
right? Because like just as he's the monster in my story, I'm sure as hell the monster in his, right?
For sure.
And I'll take that. And for that, there's my apology. Like I'm sorry that I had to be that in return for you to be that in mine. But I've been able to learn how to move on from that. And now, like there have been times when I've actually seen him.
Yeah.
And like the very first time, whew, like stopped me in my tracks. But then after that, like it didn't matter anymore because I had let it go. Like it didn't matter. There was a piece of me that was broken, that was gone, that now I was able to heal because it just didn't matter.
I love that. And I'm what's crazy is there's two different directions I was thinking about. One is like, but where you're saying that you had to like forgive that person,
Mhm.
but then when you say like your apology on the other side of it, it's kind of the same thing because
Mhm.
like there's still situations with from the problems that I went through where like I'm asking for forgiveness from somebody else, like I apologize and I truly meant it,
Mhm.
and I can't control whether or not that person wants to
Right.
be okay with me, you know?
Yeah.
And so like I had to drive down the street the other day listening to a podcast, and I was just thinking like I was almost like fanatic, like I was like, I gotta get a hold of her. I gotta figure this out. Like I'm gonna send her all these messages. And I'm like, dude, I can't do that.
Don't do that.
Like I have to accept the fact that I apologized. I meant it full heartedly. I truly am sorry for the things that happened.
Mhm.
And now I have to just leave it in her court to like come back around when it's time. You know?
Yep.
And so like that was healing for me too, to know that like it's not about the other person in either scenario. It's really
Right.
about like what you have to do for yourself, and you have to mean it like authentically.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that's when the healing starts happening inside.
Mhm.
Something else I want to say about that is like um being the villain in somebody else's story or having a villain in your story. Like we all have like these scars and the things that we go through that cause all this pain and turmoil. And when we're not healed, like that stuff is what tries to take us out.
Mhm.
But when we become healed, like what kind of gifts came from getting through those hard things?
I mean, that particular situation, I mean, my life, like my whole life is a gift from being able to heal from all the damage that I created, that I mean, just my wife had created while I was in my addiction, and being able to forgive that person, being able to ask for forgiveness from my parents, being able to ask for forgiveness from my husband and him from me. Like if we didn't have all these things, like my life would not be where it's at. And like I said last week, like mind blown as to this is my life. I get up every day. I come to a job that is not a job. You know, I mean, it is.
It's it all.
I do a lot of things.
But it
I do
doesn't-
get a paycheck.
It doesn't feel like a job.
Right,
Right. It
just-
feels more like purpose.
Right, exactly. Like we talked about last week, it
Yeah.
feels absolutely more like purpose. And, you know, just another story of like healing. So there was a point in time where my dad and I didn't talk for years. Not one single word was spoken between us for years. Very uncomfortable for sure. And I remember when I got out of prison. Now mind you, I told you guys last week I wrote this big old long letter, right? 10 pages front and back.
Yeah.
Here's everything I've done. I'm sorry. If you forgive me, great. If not, I get it. I understand. And he didn't talk to me still. I don't know. When I get out, I get buy my little red ratchet and I take it to go show my dad, right? And he sees it and then he asks me, "Hey, are you gonna go to the smoke shop?" And I was like, "Well, I could probably go, you know." And he handed me $100 bill and he said, "I want this, this, and this. Go ahead and get yourself something." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm on this mission. Okay, here I go, right? He is trusting me or he's testing me. One or the other, right? Yeah. So I get my little red ratchet and I drive to the smoke shop and I get his vape juice that he wants. I get him a few coils. I get myself a vape juice and I get an itemized receipt. Itemized.
Yeah.
and I come back and I hand him all of the stuff and I show him what I got and here's your money and here's your receipt. He didn't even look at it. He just put it in his pocket. And for me, like that was like the moment that I knew like my relationship with my dad was back. Like it was healed and like we couldn't go anywhere but up from there, you know?
That's
And
cute.
so, and I don't even know if like he knows that like that was the moment for me for our relationship to be
Yeah.
healed, you know? But and now I just
That's so true. There's been a lot of healing like that for me too, and the things I got from each one is just like that, different ways to show up. Like we talked about last week, me trying to heal my relationship with my daughter, but in the damage that I've done, it made me realize how to be a better dad. I didn't show up like people say in your addiction, in your recovery, you get everything back from your addiction, and I call bull crap on that because everything I've got back is better. Like me and my daughter never FaceTime, or I would talk to her but not really listen to her. But me now, because I healed and I got better, like I'm a better person now. When we talk, listen, I can genuinely listen and be part of the conversation. I can also be there at any time when she calls because I'm not out getting high or I'm too busy in the middle of a deal. You know, on so many different ways that healing has made me a better person. I remember going extra to groups and then participate in daytime groups because I had nighttime groups. Sitting in there, I got to just sit and listen, like finding out how to listen to people. Like healing has provided me with so much different set of skills that I appreciate. Like
it's a good one.
topic.
It's a good one. My brain's got so many things to say.
Yeah,
I know,
like,
it's
but
great.
yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about how I healed until today.
Yeah.
Like that was never, like I never set out on this journey to heal. I set out on this journey because because Emily and my daughter said, go get help or don't come home. So I went up there and I was like, whatever. And then I started liking it, and then it ended up being, it's always been just about me in the beginning to stop doing drugs and alcohol. And then at some point it was like, okay, let's get better. Not better by healing, but better person, become a better person than I was, you know? And
Have a goal of being better tomorrow than I was today.
yeah.
Like every single day for the rest of my life. I want to be better tomorrow than I was today. And I was pretty damn good today.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be better
That's
tomorrow.
the test.
You know?
Right?
I know it gets hard after a while, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, real hard.
So that's actually kind of what I want to talk about next is like, so we know that like from Tata, like we're not broken internally,
Yeah.
but we do need to heal. And so like with those two things being together, like if you're not broken, but you do need to heal, what does healing like actually look like? Like when you're like your daily habits, like what kind of things do you do to heal yourself?
Make my bed every day. That's the start of it, right? Yeah. One thing for me is, you know, I don't know, I don't remember if I touched on this last week, but my and my husband's relationship before we both got sober was iffy for sure. You know, there was no trust between us. And it was like sometimes like I'm sure I was just an annoyance for him to see and like again during our addiction. And now like it's just the little things like he gets up, even if he doesn't have to go to work as early as I do. He gets up and makes my cup of coffee and he sits there with me while I drink.
Oh,
You know, I know.
that's so cute.
I know. And super cute. But like that's like healing to me, right? Like it's our morning time. Like we're not eating anything. We're watching the news and we're just griping at the news or we're griping at the weather or, you know, is it going to be hoodie weather today? It is in the morning, but not in the afternoon. But either way, we're enjoying our coffee together, right? And that for me is like one of the biggest healing moments because like I'm gonna be real, like I'm super grateful for it and I talk about it all the time and I have so much gratitude for it, but like I probably take it for granted. You know, they're like, I know that this really hot man is gonna bring me coffee every morning.
That's cool. No, that's awesome. Well, it's cool to be aware of it.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about, is becoming aware of like the things that we do take for granted. If we really focus on the things that are good in our lives, like we can find a ton of things, like a ton of things that are just blessings like that. And the people, like I noticed, like people that are struggling with mental health or addiction or in a bad way, they focus on everything that's hard in their lives, and they'll continuously tell you about this is what's going on negatively in my life constantly, and they don't. And then when the good things come, they just dismiss them. Just like the opposite. When it's on gratitude, you dismiss the things that are hard, and you just see the goodness in life.
Like whatever you're gonna look for, you're gonna find. Right? You can practice right now. Like count how many flamingos. You count how many flamingos you see in this room.
A lot.
Just put
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, hold on. Now close your eyes. Okay, how many flamingos you saw?
7.
Okay, how many water bottles did you see?
Ooh, at least 1.
Okay. The reason why that was hard to do is because you wasn't looking for water bottles, right?
Right.
If you're focusing on flamingos, and we'll call flamingos gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Then that's all you're gonna really see. Yeah, you'll notice some of the negative things that pop up, not as much, right? Whereas if you're looking for water bottles, that's all you're gonna find, and then you're gonna dismiss all these little flamingos, even the one that's flipping me off right now. But like you're gonna dismiss those because you're just focusing on the water bottles, even the empty ones lying around. You know what I mean?
It's so powerful.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Like, what do you really want out of life? Focus on that, right? And then when things come up that you do have to address them, but you still have the main, like 80-20. You know, when they come up, put 80 over here, focus on that, dismiss it when it's done, then go back to your 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like run your life. Pick what you want to focus on, aim for that, and then it's
Yeah, and it's like that's so true because the things that you're focused on come into focus, and then the rest just falls away.
Yeah.
And the thing is I do struggle. Like I think I brought it up in the podcast before, where like I go to AA meetings or something, I'll share my story, and then people will get like, "Oh, this dude's just too happy. He's on this cloud or whatever," you know. And I start like, and I took a second, was like, "Am I too happy? You need to like come find a great cloud to jump on somewhere or something." But no, it's like I've realized that like I do have struggles. I do have hard times. I do go through stuff all the time, but I just don't focus on it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll feel the pain. I'll go through it, and I recognize, okay, this was hard. But then I go back to like what it is I'm trying to accomplish, where my mind's at, where my heart's at, where my body's at, and I get back to like healing, because I think that is healing, is like just getting my mind in a place where it's like I feel like I've built a strong positive mindset that is actually just pushing me forward, and everything I do is pushing me through fear, pushing me through anxiety, pushing me through like social, like that's one place that I've been working on lately, is like social connections, because even through this, like I've known this for the whole time with like Clean Life Community and all the things with Wasatch and all of our community gatherings, but through this podcast, it showed me that like community is the answer. You know, like when we meet new people, we get new conversations. Then their network comes involved, and then life is just coming together because we have the people to do it. You know, one person can do so much, but a team of us.
Yeah, we talked about it before, like community, about like doubling the fun. Yeah. So when you make one friend, you double the fun, but you also divide the pain. When I'm going through something, you help me line it. You make two friends, now we triple the fun and divide the heaviness 3 times. You know, like it'll make the hard times a lot easier to bear. But what you were saying about being in meetings and other people think you're too happy, it's not your fault. You built your own mindset the way you are. Like it's not your fault. That's what they got to figure out for them. But I've also had those experiences, so I started like sharing that like I do go through hard things, but because of those hard things, I've been able to elevate to here, get here. Like you can do it too. I've been through some tough stuff, but I was able to put in the work, heal, forgive, and accept all these things, and put myself, like I feel like I got I feel like I set my mind up into where it's tough, like it's strong now, you know, like anybody can say anything to me, and we'll address it if we need to, but it won't fade like how I'm thinking about me. Like how like if me and you got into it about how I feel about me, I'll just tell you why I feel like that. And if you don't agree, then that's your problem. Like I'm still good with me, you know, but it's not your fault that you made your mindset like that. That's something they got to figure out how to get onto that same plane.
Yeah. And I'm willing to help anybody that
Yeah.
help, you know,
Like reach out.
Yeah. Cause it wasn't an easy process, but at the same time, it was aligned. It was an aligned process. So it took work, but at the same time, it was just part of the daily grind, you know? So it didn't feel like I was really working that hard on it. It just slowly came into fruition.
Like I heard this guy talking about Kobe, and there was like, everybody wants to be like Kobe. Kobe went to a game out in Miami, right? And then Miami Heat, after the game, invited them to a barbecue and a little party on the beach, and everybody showed up except Kobe. And then some of the Heat players asked him where Kobe was, and then he's probably at the gym, right? And that's why he's so good, right? People that see you like so good with their mindset right now, they want that, but they don't want to do all the sacrifices it takes to get there. It takes consistency. It takes dedication. It takes, what do you call that? It takes a whole bunch of things that people don't want to do, but they want to be there. There's no shortcuts in this game.
It's like you hear like, you know, the overnight success, and you don't realize that person took 10 years to get that overnight success. You know? 10 years of hard work and dedication.
That's the part that usually gets left out of the story, because they just want to see this quick like rise to fame. There's no quick rise to anything.
Yeah.
Well, at least the things that I'm trying to get to.
I don't think anything.
Yeah. The only part we hear about the story is the happily ever after, but we don't hear about all the heartbreaks and all the work, arguing with the stepmom and the stepdad, and you know, getting kicked out of the house. We don't hear all about that. Everybody just hears the happy ending.
Yeah.
But it does take work, like you said. It does take discipline. It does take keep showing up for yourself. And that's how you get to where you're at right now, where I'm at, where Cherice is at. It wasn't an easy path. It's easy for us to talk about it now because we put in a lot of work to get here. And people might see it and want it, but man, it's gonna take some work. We can help. Reach out.
Reach out, please, for sure. So the next question. So I wanted to ask this earlier, but it came out wrong. So I'm gonna ask right now. Do you think that you ever become healed, or is it a constant healing journey?
Constant. I think it's 100% constant. As you guys were talking about this, like, you know, you say we don't think about being healed or the healing process of it. And I'm thinking back to like all the clients I've had, right? Like to watch them heal, mind blowing, fantastic. But then like,
That's a true lesson.
right, it is. But now I'm gonna go a little deeper, right? Like to watch my children heal, right?
Right.
Like that.
It's wonderful.
Like that for me, to watch my husband heal from like the pain and his addiction and the crap that just took him so far down, but like to watch him heal through it every single day, to watch him finally be able to, in a family night, I think it was, to open up about a subject that he had not really opened up about. And I think that was like his first step to healing. But yeah, we talked about how like my oldest kid, he didn't forgive me for a long time. And finally one day, after a big blow up between us, like he messages me and he goes, "You want to know why I never forgave you?" And I'm like, "Yes, please tell me why you never forgave me. Like, come on." And he said, "Because you promised you'd come see me in the hospital and you never did." And that, I mean, that was hard for me, but at the same time, I was like, "Thanks for telling me. Like, let's talk about it." Because yeah, we can work through it, because like in my addiction, even in my addiction, I didn't miss football practice. I didn't miss birthdays. I didn't miss anything, right? Like I said last time, I was there physically, but I'd also never broken a promise to him. I broke the promise, and that's what broke him. That's what hurt him. And so now, like we were able to work through that together once he finally was able to like open up and say something. Is he stubborn like his mom? Probably. But you know, he got, this a total sidebar on this. He got hit by a car I guess it was a few weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And
At work, bro.
yep, at work. Yeah, he got hit by a car a few weeks ago. And I'm sitting in my office, and you know, like you said that you and your daughter FaceTime all the time, right? No. Like Hayden won't call me. He'll text me. He'll send me TikToks, you know, like stuff like that. But for him to actually pick up the phone and call me, like something's wrong, right? And I pick up the phone and like, to be the first person he calls that lives 8 miles away from him,
Yeah.
because he knows his mom is going to come and take care of him,
Yeah.
and take care of whatever it is. You know, like that to me, like that's healing, right? Like to see, to have Liam go to college, decide that's not for him, and still be able to call me and say, "Mom, this wasn't the decision I wanted to make. Like this wasn't it for me. I'm gonna come home." I mean, that sucks. That was all money, but like, come on home, bud. Like, let's figure out a different life path for you. This was not in my cards 6 years ago. No, but like to watch not just myself heal, but my whole family just come together. Like we are not band-aided up. We are literally healing, and it's
It's kind of like when you break a bone too. It's like you break that bone, and then when it heals, it's like stronger in that area because you went through the pain, and then it feels stronger, and you guys have a better connection through it. I think that with my family too. Like honestly, we struggled really hard to ever connect because I was constantly, well, we were all in our own ways contributing, but like where like I always felt this way, like where I'm like the oldest and like the oldest brother, and like me and my mom grew up together because she was really young when she had me, and it's like we always had each other until I started using drugs, and then it became like this like complete toxicity throughout our family, and like everybody had their part in it, but as soon as I decided to make the change, all of a sudden I feel like the rest of my family members were like, okay, like we can change, and things will start coming together in a different way. And because of that, more so than like, well, my healing was been huge for my life, obviously, but like my mom's healing or my sister's healing, and like the us coming together and being a family unit again, my connection with my grandma again, those type of things are what keep pushing me forward when it's hard.
Yeah, that's cool. So what about, this is all like external healing, internal healing. What about healing in the head? Like, you know, like, because I've done so much damage with negative self-talk, with telling myself I'm not worthy, what are some of the things that you do? Like just with this, what you just told us, what are some of the ways that you helped heal up here?
So like that's my forte. And I mean, like
Yeah.
I constantly am learning and growing in those ways. Like like for fun, like books and
Yeah, I
fun,
know
like I
that.
listen to YouTube videos about the mind, about the spirit, about heart. So it was a lot of like mental work, journaling.
Yeah.
I wrote actual questions down that I wanted to ask myself, and then I'd just write down the answers, and I'd like just sit on. I wrote the intent statements. I wrote it right on my mirrors.
Yeah,
I tell myself like all these things, and I make sure that I stay in this mindset of like growth and learning. Like I want to continue my growth in my mind. And
Yeah.
so I do a lot of meditation and I do a lot of prayer and I do those things focused on the things that I want.
It also helps keep out a lot of noise or letting it get messy or dirty, right?
Yeah.
It's like because you're so focused on like the flamingos, sorry, like just focusing on that. It's hard for water bottles to enter that area because you're just focusing on flamingos or all these positive things that you're help building for your life, which is so dope. Like there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to heal in the head. They can heal relationships, but not up here. And I know in my journey there was a lot of I'm not worthy of certain things, and I wouldn't talk to certain people because I didn't feel like I deserved forgiveness. And it took a lot. It took a lot to be able to get to a space where, okay, like maybe I am. Then it gets to I am worthy. Like who am I to give myself less than 100, right? Like I deserve whatever I feel like I deserve. I just gotta prove to me that I do deserve it, and I am worthy, and it helped clear out so much clutter.
I think what comes up for me is like you talked about like the Ten Commandments in one of our podcasts about
Yeah.
like what one should you work on. It's the most important one.
Yeah,
And it's like the one that
you're struggling with the most. Yeah.
and I think that like my mindset's strong and my spirituality's strong, my body's strong, and now I'm working on connection. It's like
Yeah.
because I did go inward so deeply that it was like I felt separated from a lot of people in my family, you guys, my friends,
Almost isolating
yeah,
type. Like,
to the point
not,
where it's just me, you know?
yeah,
And I was like, I got to do this for me. I'll do it alone if I got to. And I got really like just me type thing.
Yeah.
And so then when Clean Life Community came about and outreach and connecting, and then because of Boss Action, because of what we built as a friendship and like a friend group, and also like the other connections that I have in my life, like through Temple and through my church and things like that, it's been getting way better. And so like I think about like that balance between like body, mind, heart, spirit, and those things actually like when one starts, it's not, I think it's just like healing. It's a journey on all those things.
Yeah.
So it's like I didn't go to the gym yesterday because I was at Zion's. I didn't go to the gym today. And like, I feel like I got to get my body right, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go after we get done here. And if I hit those things daily, like I go to the gym, I read a book, I listen to podcasts or things that make my mind feel like I'm learning something. I connect with my God spiritually. I make sure that I connect with my people. If I do those things daily, my life is great. Every single day is great.
Yeah.
Even through the hard things.
Yeah, of course, because like you're taking everything. Like it's so dope to hear you say that you're just doing all internal work and have finally found awareness that wait, I need to pick up on some other ends like connection and hitting the gym because I feel like the whole reason about the Ten Commandments thing is like you can only be as strong as your weakest point, right? You take that weakest point, make it a strength, then you go find the next weakest point, but you're still keeping all these other things sharp, right? Don't just focus on don't steal, and that's the only one you work on. Meanwhile, you're coveting your neighbor's wife, or you're lying, or you're you know what I mean, killing. Like it's take your weakest point, make it a strength, take the next and make it all strengths, and that, it'll make just this whole person so cool.
And I love that, and that's a question that's been like coming up in me since we started. Is it, and I can't quite put it into words, so I'm going to try my best. But like the difference between like actively healing things that you're in pain from, and then the side of like maintaining the healing of that you've already done, you know. And so like the separation between like this is what I do to work through like my like when I make that mistake, and I have to have accountability. I have to like rebuild my integrity inside myself and know that like that I stand on these values. And then the other side of it is like the maintenance type of things where I do like meditating and praying and going to the gym and those things. And I think that both sides of it, because one side I've done a lot of work to heal, but the other side is like I need to do a lot of work to heal.
Yeah. And it's always going to come up like that. We're always going to find different ways, right? Like on different things to heal. But that's what progress, not perfection, is all about. Like you can be the best in certain things and all right at certain things. Well, if you want to be a better for you, prove these up and then focus on other things. If they're all sharp, then it's the maintenance part on keeping them sharp. Keep like making sure that everything you have is on point.
That's so
Yeah,
much.
like there's always ways to grow, but if you make every weakness a strength, then you just keep them sharp and maintain, and that there's always ways to learn. People that consider themselves perfect, I think they cap their ability to grow. Like I feel like there's always opportunity to grow.
Oh.
You listen to somebody that just come into a room and it's his one day, and he might say something, and if you judge this person because he's only got one day, you miss out on a great opportunity or lesson or something from this person.
What did you just barely say right before you said talk about that person coming out? You said, oh man,
My mind goes blank, bro. It's not me talking. It's like,
you said that is
yeah, just let it out, bro. Like,
You just come.
yeah, I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
circles back. We'll get it on the next week.
We're talking about making it all sharp anyways.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just making sure. I was like you're talking about maintenance, right? And so like I was just thinking about like the beginning of my healing journey or my recovery journey. I used to. I haven't done it in a while, but like I made videos, right?
Yeah.
My notable quotables, and for me, that was the first thing for me to like get some kind of community because it was COVID. I was locked up in a house. I couldn't go anywhere. And so like I started making these videos and I love quotes. And like that was kind of like my way of affirming because for me to look into a mirror was really weird, but I could do it on phone. Right. And so I started doing that. And I did that for a solid 5 years, at least every single day. Cause 5 years I dropped off a little bit. And so I'm thinking like, man, like maybe is your maintenance falling off? Why did you stop doing that? Did something else come about that replaced it?
That's so huge. I love that. Actually, that's a whole nother topic that we can go on because that's like something that is because things do change and life does get more busy or you
Yep.
get more tasks that you need to accomplish or like things come about, people, friends need help or whatever, and you start like letting back on things that got you where you're trying to be,
Mhm.
and you're like, wait, I did all this work in this way to get here, and then all of a sudden I just let it go.
Yeah.
I used to work in warehouses, and there's this thing called preventative maintenance, right? Like you go work on the forklifts before you start a shift, before you even take it for a ride, you check the rollers and all the conveyor belts, and it's in order to keep yourself from putting in all this work and then letting it drift, right? Like what do you call it? Like a daily inventory or something like that. And if a daily inventory is too much, do a weekly one and just reflect on how you were with yourself throughout the whole week. I heard this guy, he was talking about this farmer. Johnny not temple story. Yeah. I heard this guy talking about a farmer that was looking for a farmhand, and he was interviewing. Only one dude came up for the interview, and he goes, "Okay, tell me your qualifications." And the farmhand said, "I can sleep through a storm." And then the guy goes, like, "You're it, bro. Yeah, you're it. Nobody else came. I didn't ask you where you sleep. You're on." And then he goes, "Sleep through a storm." Okay. So they work, and a couple months goes by, and then a crazy storm comes to these guys' farm, and the farmer runs through the house, goes and gets the farmhand. He's trying to wake him up, and the dude's sleeping. And there's this big storm outside, and the dude's sleeping. And he grabs his wife. Him and the wife go running outside to check on all the farm things. Right? They go and check the shutters for the barn, and it's all secure tight. They go and make sure that the barn's all locked up, and it's all locked up. They check for the tools to make sure it's put away. It's all put away in a place where it won't get thrown out by the storm. The hay's all tied up. The animals are even calm because there's so much food, and they're all in their things. And what this guy was getting at was that it's our preparation and the calm that's gonna tell us how we react in a storm.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, or it like so when times are good. I said a couple times in alumni, like when things are good and there's like even a hint of a snowball that you need help, pick up the phone before it gets too heavy. Like put in all this prep work, like preventative maintenance. So like a weekly inventory if the daily one is too much, but the preparation that we do while everything's good is gonna set us up really good when things get rough.
Yeah, that's
What I heard about that.
I think you've inspired me. I'll do at least one notable quotable a week now.
Let's
And
go.
we're gonna make time for it.
Dang it, I was gonna just ask this question, but now you're gonna repeat that in a second because I'm gonna ask this question and he's
Okay.
and then I'm not, and then I'm ask the same question to you guys.
Okay.
Okay. So like, the question is like, for someone who's listening, if you feel stuck or like you need some movement and you're like, what's like one thing that you can do today to start making a change towards healing? Because it's not like everything comes in big groups. Like you have to do one thing at a time, and so one step is going to move you in the right direction. Next week you do one more step, next week or whatever your time frame is. So what's one thing that you can do to start healing today?
hold people accountable that show up in my life. Something that I really didn't put too much effort in when I was up at residential. Still turn a blind eye to certain things, turn a deaf ear to certain words. I got better at it when I got down to day treatment and IOP. Still not, like, going back to the 10 Commandments thing, still not where I want it. So in order for me to be a lot stronger than I am now, I feel like I need to hold people accountable that enter my life, that do certain things not the way I want them to do.
That's awesome. Like boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries, bro. Like that I feel like that's what I need to work on right now.
I love that so much, man.
Yeah.
I think for me, other than the weekly notable quotable now, I think I'm gonna try my hardest to find gratitude even in the negative things.
I love that.
Even in the things that piss me right off. I'm gonna find the gratitude in it, even if it's like, okay, I got to feel that feeling today, because
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, but it's worth the wait, because like when the storm comes, like it might take a couple of days before you realize what the lesson was.
but it'll be worth it when you figure it out.
Yeah, but this will also provide you with a bunch of things like patience. This patience while you're waiting for gratitude. Like there's
I know. I thought patience was real thing sometimes.
I love that. I think that, like, for me, I'm gonna start like journaling again, because I always have this like feeling inside of me that like, you should write this down. You should keep track of this. You should journal and reflect or whatever. And I keep telling myself I'm gonna do it, and I don't do it. And I think that would be huge for my just like compartmentalizing my thoughts and getting things like aligned.
yeah.
So last week I had a 1-minute rule that I gave the clients in group, right? Like we have these ideas like, oh, I'm gonna journal, and then we don't. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I don't. Like I'm gonna run my Peloton, and then I don't, right? So I gave them a 1-minute rule. Okay, you want to go on a run today, but you're gonna try to talk yourself out of it. Go for a run for 1 minute. So you've still accomplished what you wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
Journal. Like you might not really have 20, 30 minutes to sit and journal, but you got 1 minute. So like even set your timer and just journal for 1 minute. Get whatever you can out for that 1 minute. I don't really want to go ride my damn Peloton, but you know what I'm gonna do when I get home today? I'm gonna get on that bitch for 1 minute.
Let's go.
1 minute.
That's cool. And I like the general idea. Like, I know 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of things that I feel like I put off too. But I like the journal idea because it's like I've always wanted to leave my story behind with my words. Not like, and appreciate what other people got to say about me, good or bad. Any press is
That's right.
good
All
press,
press is good press.
right?
Haters
But-
famous.
But go find somebody talking about bad about me now, it won't happen. But I always wanted to leave my story behind with my words so people can read it from my hand,
Right.
And I love that idea. So I'm gonna take that and apply that to it
Let's
right
go.
after this.
Yeah. That's kind of like, that's the community working in action,
Yeah, I
Alright,
love
cool.
that, bro. Great
Cool.
topic today.
It was good.
Yeah.
Healing isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice of remembering that nothing about you is too broken to be made whole. It happens in layers: body, mind, heart, and spirit. It happens in quiet choices, telling the truth, setting boundaries, and asking for help. It happens as our wounds transform into wisdom that blesses others. Whether you're just starting or you're years into the journey, keep showing up, because healing has happened often long before you can see it. And healing isn't just personal; it's a movement.
It's a movement.
It is a movement for sure.
I'm super grateful. If you guys would like and subscribe, like, that's something like where we are getting people to view, but we need people to subscribe to our stuff and like it and share it. And just like, if it resonates with you, share it with somebody else you feel like they would love it. Cause really, like, we're in this together, and it's gonna be amazing for us all.
Healing is a movement. Jump in. Let's go.
Also, you guys, healing isn't the finish line.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no finish line to healing.
No. It's a starting line.
That's
A starting line
damn.
to set yourself free.
Ooh.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Super great guys.
Love you guys.
This was a great time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so great.
I love you.
I'm glad I just